Well, you're listening to Independent TV 7. As it is, the headline which says only Nnamdi Kanu's release will end IPOB's a seat at home order, says Mbaka, Reverend Mbaka. We all know who Mbaka is. Yes, as I would say, that the spiritual director of the Adoration Ministry, Enugu, Nigeria, Amen, very most Reverend Francis AGK Mbaka has said that only the release of leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB Mazen Abdikano, can lead to the end of Monday's seat at home. Okay, Mbaka, yes, I said this during the Good Friday all-nighter program, where he lamented on the negative impact of the exercise, especially on businessmen and women. He said we cannot deny the fact that this sit at home is costing millions of money, especially to business people, but we cannot also pretend not to know the solution. They should release our brother Mazi Nnamdi. If he is released today, the sit at home will stop today. You can't stop it by force. The politicians tried it, but it was in vain. They sit at home with their families every Monday, and if they want to go out, they move with more than 20 trucks of security men. Well, it says in Anambra, the Anambra government has tried to use force to stop. It is okay. Stop it is feeling the heat today. And that is coming from Mbaka. So let them release our brother Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and sit at home will stop. That is what Mbaka is trying to tell us, that Nnamdi Kanu is not a problem of Nigeria. Rather, if Nnamdi Kanu is being released today, definitely the sit at home order will stop. That is what Mbaka has just said.
Yes, as it is, Reverend Mbaka, the Adoration Ministry, Anambra. As it said, it says the Anambra government that tries to use force to stop it is feeling the heat today, which simply means that they try to stop the sit-at-home order that has been given by the IPOB. Not even Nnamdi Kanu. He was not even aware, but he heard that they are sitting at home every Monday to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu is being released. I believe the spokesperson to the IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, Ima Powerful, has been on the front row of this sit-at-home order or thereabout. Well, so let them release our brother Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and sit at home will stop. That is what Reverend Mbaka is saying. On the ESN, he said, which is the Eastern Security Network, he said since the past 3 years, this year is the year Enugu farmers could farm successfully. Well, he said, may God bless our young men who cleared our farms from herdsmen. One of our priests, large farms were messed up by the herdsmen last year. That is coming from Reverend Mbaka, says Francis Mbaka. But notwithstanding, it was cleared by herdsmen. If you remember, like over a year before now, we could remember that the Fulani herdsmen have been terrorizing or rampaging themselves all over the south, southwest, and southeast, and south in general. And now, as it is, we believe that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho, who had always, advocated for good governance, though they started with NSAS protest, it wasn't in the light of Nnamdi Kanu, no. Sunday Igboho, who started that, but it was alongside the emergence of a good governance, and now they were seeking for a referendum until when their houses were being invaded. Or rather, Nnamdi Kanu's house was the first to be invaded because they said he jumped bail and ran out of the country. Said he was speaking ill of the government just because the Buhari-led administration has refused to do the needful. So they indicted him, and at the long run was being kidnapped and brought back, or abducted and brought back to Nigeria as a thief. Like what Father Mbaka is just saying, that the Eastern Security Network, on the other hand, had not really done anything, to deserve being proscribed. because they said since the past 3 years, this year is the year Enugu farmers could farm successfully. May God bless our young men who cleared our farms from herdsmen that is coming from Reverend Mbaka. One of our priests, large farms were messed up by herdsmen last year. He was crying. But this year he's smiling to God. May God bless our youth who made it possible for our people to go to farm. On NNAMDI KANU, he first sang the emotional brotherhood song, Onuru Ube Nyagbalaoso. Okay, what does that simply mean? It says, he who hears the cry of his brother should not abandon him. Well, then he said, he's our brother. We lifted our hands up to God to pray for his release. We can't run away from it. It is a situation that came up with our generation. We must face it. He says, I heard the names of some people that were granted presidential amnesty, but his name was not there. I wonder what his crime is. Well, let the Igbos who can go through requests for his release start a journey. And that's coming from Mbaka. Reverend Mbaka should also know the antecedent of President Muhammadu Buhari or the administration of Buhari itself, because Buhari will tell you he does not have any power to do anything. And meanwhile, according to Malami was the first to release a press statement by saying NNAMDI KANU has been arrested, all the way from Kenya. He released it because he's the senior advocate of Nigeria and Attorney General of the Federation, and he is not supposed to announce the arrest. Even if NNAMDI KANU was arrested, he shouldn't be in the right position to announce, because we have the information minister, the minister who gives us information, and I believe that is what it's supposed to be. NNAMDI KANU is released or not, but I believe what God will do is going to do. But according to Mbaka, I believe Mbaka knows the antecedent of President Muhammadu Buhari, because he once had a hit with Buhari himself. There was a time we were told he was kidnapped, but that should be a case for another day. Now, from reactions trailing under this article, according to a guest, they said they that speak for the release of NNAMDI KANU must also condemn the violence and bloodshed going on. You cannot be engaging in criminality and bloodshed, especially against your own very people, and not expect the government to be against you. People are complying or complaining with the said sit at home out of fear of the wickedness of the bloodthirsty gunmen, and not because they care about Mr. NNAMDI KANU. To answer this guest, I will say, except you don't live in the East. For those who live in the East, basically know the antecedents of things happening in the East. Now, see what is happening to Abba Kyari. He was being deployed all the way from Borno State, Maiduguri, to the southeast, and we heard, or everybody knows that Maiduguri is the height of Boko Haram. Why didn't they deploy him down there to go and fight for his own people? Rather, he said he wants to fight for IPOP, or rather, I don't know how to put it, but notwithstanding, this is why I'm going to draw the curtain. I would like you to push to that comment section and lay your comment and let's hear your view. Well, thanks for listening. You're listening to Independent TV 7. Thanks, and God bless you.